I am Kay Cote, your host of the Business Spotlight series. Today I have Zoe Darkins, Director of Inside Out Laser Clinics, as my guest on the show. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into her business, her journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a sneak peek to what it's really like to own and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop conversations just like this one. Welcome, Zoe. It's so great to have you on the show. I'd love if you could share a little bit about you and your business.
Lovely to be here, Kay. Thank you very much for having me. Like I say, I'm Zoe Darkins. I've owned my business now for coming up for 6 years. I'm a family person. I've got two lovely children, one at university and one literally just starting his GCSEs today. Love what I do. My business is definitely a big part of who I am. My business is called Inside Out, as you know, and literally that's what we're about. We're about looking after people from the inside out.
I really am curious to hear more about that. Can you deep dive into what Inside Out, like what is the kind of the day to day? What are the operations going on there?
So Inside Out is about you as a whole person. Yes, we're a laser and aesthetic clinic and an advanced skincare clinic based here in Mount Sorrell in Leicestershire, but we're about looking after the whole person. And everybody has got an inside and an out. Yes, we tweak the outside a little bit, but it's about looking after the inside as well. So from things that we put inside, from our aloe veras, etc., all of our aloe vera drinks, to doing that deep massage, more relaxation. It really is about your whole well-being as a whole person.
That sounds lovely. Like a massage is just speaking to me right now. uh, so, generally speaking, like what does your current ownership look like? Are you the sole founder? Are there outside investors? What's that look like?
There's just myself and my husband. We're both the directors. We decided that we wanted to keep it as our own. I've had people keep trying to see if I could get an investment from them, but we've decided we want to stay relatively small. My idea has always been to have more than one clinic. I would like to have a minimum of two. We were hoping to be a little bit further forward than we are at the moment, but with obviously COVID hitting us quite hard, we were closed for 11 months during the COVID period. So we've stepped back a little bit, but my plan is still to have a minimum of two clinics in the future.
Yes, that's a great goal. And so I'm like, what's your current role look like as the director in the business? Like when you take a look at your role in your day to day, how many hours do you spend working in the business as well as like on the business, like strategy, planning, and things like that?
So I'm here pretty much 24/7, to be quite truthful. I treat as well, so I'm one of the sole treaters here. So when I'm not treating, I'm obviously assessing for new business prospects. I deal with all the new clients that are coming in. We look at everything realistically from all of the stock takes to everything. So yeah, I'm pretty much here all the time. I am an exceptionally hands-on director. That's definitely me, if you like. Everything about Inside Out is definitely down to me.
That is really cool. So you are one of the also doing some of the treatments. So do you have other employees? Do you have other nurses? Like what's your staff look like and how many do you have?
We do. I have another practitioner who works as well, and then I've got a lovely lady called Nikki who does our reception and does all our fantastic social media or marketing. She does lots of her accounts and bits and pieces, so she works tremendously hard as well. Um, Jo, our practitioner, treats. She does a lot of laser treatments. She does our massage. It was a really nice part of bringing her in because it means we've been able and take it to the massage levels as well as doing our facials, etc. And then we've got a gentleman who works here. He's a professor of ENT. He works on an ad hoc basis, but he does all our injectables, so our Botox fillers, migraine therapy, hyperhidrosis, like sweating, that kind of thing. So we are a broad clinic. We're able to do lots of different things from, your little tweaks, if you like, right the way through to some deep rejuvenation treatments.
Mm. And I kind of want to move into what makes your business special, what makes it unique. Who do you primarily serve? Like if I were in your audience, how
Mhm.
would I know? Well, I feel like I'm already a good fit, but I'd love to know, what does your audience look like? How would they know if they're a good fit for your business?
I would say we're available for everybody. We really do treat people from, sort of 18 plus upwards. We treat males, females, transgender clients. And I think what makes people feel comfortable with us is that we're not your everyday aesthetic looking clinic. Myself, I'm not a size 10. I'm quite a large lady. I'm a lot older. I'm going to be 50 next year. So I think that people can really feel that we help, and that they can feel part of something, if you like. They feel very comfortable and cared for when they're here. That's definitely what we're about.
That is
Eight,
really,
yeah,
huh?
really, really important. I think, when people come in, they're always a little bit nervous, but
Mhm.
actually they see that we are really normal, down to earth people, and that puts them at ease straight away.
Oh, I like the sound of that as well. What is one thing you wish more people knew about your business?
I suppose I'd like more people to know that we're here. Um, we've always, we've marketed ourselves, but we probably don't market ourselves as well as we should. It's definitely something I think I need to explore more. So definitely getting the word out there, definitely a little bit more, is something I would like to say.
That actually leads me perfectly into my next series of questions, which is all about marketing and
Okay.
may spark some of those ideas. So like how would how would you say you're marketing currently, with are you focusing on social media or like what kind of strategies are you currently doing?
We do social media. I mean, we do a social media on a regular basis every day. Realistically, we try and put at least one post out. And our social
Mhm.
media targets a bit of everything. It tells people what treatments that we do, who our ideal client is, products, those kind of things. So we literally let people know a little bit, but we also put ourselves out there as well. People will quite
Mhm.
often see us, just the normal day-to-day things that we do here as well. Um, then we also market in local magazines. A lot of my business, if you like, comes from word of mouth. I'd say probably 70% of people literally recommend us, and that's where we get the majority of our business. So we advertise quite locally. I've done a few things in the past. I've been on a radio station, and advertised. We had one of those little jingles. Being honest, I think that did an awful lot for us. We sponsor a lovely golf course that's very close to us. So we try to work with the community as well. So a golf course that's very close to us, in Rothley, just the next village to us. We sponsor one of their teas. We do quite a lot, as much as we can, for charity, and we're a big believer in giving back, if you like. So we have a charity called Alex's Wish,
Mhm.
which is about for young boys who have Duchenne, which is a muscle dystrophy disease. So I try and do as much as I can for them.
Mhm.
But I do think we need to market possibly a little bit further afield, or maybe put more into our social media. Actually, maybe we do more fun that point of view.
Yeah, there's some really good thoughts there. And you mentioned community. I want to kind of deep dive into like how important do you think community, creating community, being part of community is for business owners?
For me personally, I think it's really important. We're a small clinic based in a residential area.
Mm.
We help some of the neighbours. We do little bits for them, and I think being part of the community is very important. You want to be able to feel welcomed when you're at work. You're here a long time, and I think that for us, that's something that we would take a really big responsibility in.
This kind of leads me perfectly into like learning a little bit more about you. I'd like to hear about your journey. Why did you go into business for yourself as opposed to working for someone else? And what was that transition like for you?
So I worked for obviously other people for a very long time. I was a qualified dental nurse, and practice manager for many years, and I loved what I did. I took a change of direction when I was expecting my first child, and went into medical aesthetics. I used to work for one of the leading medical and aesthetic clinics. They had quite 5 clinics when I started, all hospital based, and I loved what I did, and I still love what I do. They got bought out multiple times and grew and grew and grew. Now that's amazing. Obviously, as a business owner, that's what you want. You want growth. But for me, some of it had just lost a bit of care, a bit of patient care, if you like. And because I'd come from a
Mhm.
medical background, that's just how I felt. And I sat and thought about what I would do differently. And at that point, I actually thought, instead of me thinking what I do differently for somebody else, why don't I do it doing differently and do it for myself? So that's why
Hmm.
Out Laser Clinics was conceived.
I love that. You're filling your cup. That is really powerful words, especially for business owners, because we're often giving and forget like, oh gosh, is my heart in this? Is this like speaking to me? How can I change
Yeah.
this? So I really, really appreciate that.
Mm.
Um, looking back at your journey so far in business, what has been a memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were maybe challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
I'd have to say COVID. COVID for us was a real strong, scary point. We'd not long officially been in business. My husband also, he used to work for a company, he'd been working for them for over 25 years. In November, had decided himself that he was going to go self-employed. And obviously then COVID hit us in February. So for us, it was a really hard point. Um, Lots of people obviously were back working, but as an aesthetic clinic, we weren't able to. I'd spoken to the local authorities, but they still said that we weren't able to open. So for 11 solid months, we were closed. And it wasn't just about not being open as a business, which obviously, you know, sadly, I was still paying a lot of money out. I don't own the premises where we are, so I was paying my landlord, and we were
Mhm.
still paying for the electricity, your phone lines, and all of those kind of things, internet, because we still wanted to be visible for people. Um,
Mhm.
but what I found was really hard was my clients. I treat some clients who really need what we do. Hair
Mhm.
removal, for instance, people think, oh, it's just so you can remove a few hairs. It's nothing really important. But when you've got a lady who has a full beard and is really struggling, that was really hard. So people were sending me messages asking if I could sneak them around the back, sneak them under the shutters and still treat them. And it was not only hard, like I say, financially, but it was really hard on my heartstrings, if you like.
Mm.
I really struggled with that.
Yeah, I could imagine like some of your clients and like they're just at a loss for what to do.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, and what impact did that have on you as your growth? Like how like overcoming that, kind of like seeing the other side. How's that been?
For us, we're still here. That's what we can say from the biggest positive. We've stuck it out. We've overcome that part of it. Growth
Mhm.
wise, like I say, I'd got more plans for moving forward. It's not gone quite according to plan, but for the biggest part, we stuck it out. We were able to ride the storm, and for me, that is the biggest thing that I can say. I know so many businesses that folded, even around us, that weren't able to continue. So I'm really proud that we were still able to continue.
Definitely. Kind of looking into the future as we started to talk about here, what do you see? What are some of your goals for business in the next 3 to 5 years?
I would like at some point, realistically, probably to be able to not only grow the clinics extra, but actually the business here as well. We're looking at into perhaps being able to bring other types of treatments into us. So it's more about other things that we're able to, offer our clients. We've definitely brought other new treatments in. Obviously, we talked about massage, but there's lots of other things that we've brought in. And we've just introduced a new range of peels. So it's
Mm.
keeping everything relevant, keeping up with new trends, those kind of things as well. But really trying to bring everything in we can for our own clients to make their journey a better.
That is actually brings me into like a very a question just for you for your style of business is, there are so many trends happening, all the new lasers coming out, new things. How do you pick and choose between all the new technologies and treatments? What's best for your business?
I think that's a really good question. And it's actually quite a difficult one. But for me, it's always about knowing my clients, if you like. We're not one for making you look, we like tweaks, let's say that. We're not about making people look tremendously different. We're about giving people a bit of confidence. So for me, anything that I feel will make people feel more confident, just giving them a little bit of a push it's what it's all about. So you do need to research is really important, but you've really got to know what you're aiming to achieve. So I will look at
Mm.
definitely different things. I had a lady come to me a few weeks ago for a representative, to try and sell me a device. We looked at it, we tried it. I'm sure it would be great for some clinics, but it just was not right for us. So
Mm. Got
yeah,
to tap into the spidey senses.
absolutely. I think a lot of it is, you do get that feeling. It is about your own feel. You know if it's right for you and if it's not.
100%.
Mhm.
Looking at kind of the future as you're growing, I'd love to talk about like how you're working on your team building. What describes your leadership style in business and with your employees, and has it changed over the years?
Leadership skills, I'm probably going to say I'm far too soft, but that's just me as a whole person. I'm not one for putting KPIs down and things like that. I just think we work really well as a whole team because we all get on tremendously well. We all know each other really well, and we just work well together. I think that's part of it. It's not forcing anybody to do things that they don't want to do. We just work really, really well. And I know for some businesses that's not right. I know financially sometimes that's not the way forward as well. But I think that's just me.
I like it. I'm kind of a believer in that too. What has been your approach to hiring, retaining team members?
Since we've been in business, I've only had two members of staff who have left. One sadly wasn't very well, so she had to leave. And the other one went on to work full time. At the time when she started here, she was only part time, and when we first started, I hadn't got the hours able to give her for full time, so she went on to fulfil a full time career. Everybody else, I have to say, has been with me for a very, very long time. I think Nikki's been working for me for like nearly 4 years. Jo, who works with me, she's been here 3 years. And I think that's the important thing, that it shows that because we all work so well together, we all get on, people want to stay.
That's really awesome. We've covered so much amazing ground in this conversation. And for those listening, definitely take a listen through this. There's so many golden nuggets to, what you shared about your business. So thank you so much. And I'd love to dive into a fun section that is our rapid fire section.
Okay.
These are questions that just like think about what comes top of mind, very quick answers, and just like very top of mind. We've got 4 questions. Are you ready?
I am.
Awesome. So, first question is, what is the key to success for you?
I think being a kind, caring person, and just like I say, giving back as much as you possibly can as well.
Love that. What is the one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Oh, that's a hard one. Enjoy what you do. I think more importantly than anything, you've got to enjoy your business. There's so many people who in work, in business themselves, who don't actually enjoy their job. It's just something that pays the bills. I don't agree with that. I think if you're going to do something and you want to put your effort into it, it's got to be something you enjoy.
Hmm. What is one book you're reading right now, or piece of content, could be a podcast, anything that you've taken in most recently?
Ooh, do you know what? That sounds awful. I hardly ever listen to many podcasts. And reading, people will laugh when they hear what I read. I love a good novel, but they're all sloppy. I do love a nice romance novel. My at university studying English language and literature with a creative writing. So one of the best pieces of anything I've read recently is actually one of the pieces that she's just written. I am blown away by it. So yeah.
I was actually gonna like guess. I don't know. I was gonna guess she's gonna say romance novel. I don't know why I thought
I'm a proper romance. Pride and Prejudice, anything like that. You give me that, I'm well away.
that. I dig that. And our last questions. If you had to choose only one area of business you could immediately improve on tomorrow, what would it
Yeah.
be?
I would say getting a few new clients. Yeah, definitely. If we can market a few more, get a few more through the door, that would definitely make a difference.
Oh, these are great answers. Well, thank you so much. Before we get into our final question today, how can everybody learn about your business? Let's get those clients in the door. Share your contact info.
Oh, okay. So we're Inside Out Laser Clinics. We are based in Mount Sorrell. Our telephone number is 0116 247 777.
And, last question of the day, Zoe, what is most inspiring to you today?
Inspiring. I would say I'm inspired by the next generation. I, I really like the idea that people are putting a lot into the environment and those kind of things. Um, so yeah, the next generation. I've got two amazing children who inspire me tremendously. One who, wants to go into publishing, and one who wants to go into the RAF. So for me, yeah, they're my inspiration.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation. Thank you so much for sharing with me on the show today. It's been a true joy.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it. Hey, thank you.